Welcome to Creator's Head Studio. I'm Tom Arcu, feature film producer, director, screenwriter, and novelist.
And I'm John Colton, creator of ColtonComics.com and writer of Paul Bunyan versus Dracula.
We're talking about Nosferatu, the new film. It's doing well, and people are enjoying it. Critical Drinker had something to say about it, and we have something to say about it. Start us off there, John.
The reason it caught my attention is because it was a Critical Drinker recommends
Right.
video.
Yes.
I've learned
Mhm.
if he recommends it, it's probably pretty darn good.
Okay.
Because there's been a couple times where I was hesitant, like, should I see this?
Mm-hmm.
Should I not? And then I saw, like, Critical Drinker recommends Top Gun Maverick,
Ah.
which was one I was not going to go see in the theater. And then I saw he
Mhm.
recommended it and was so glad I saw it in the theater.
Right.
And last year, about this same time, there was Critical Drinker recommends Godzilla minus one.
Oh boy. Wow.
And again, I wasn't going to see it in the theaters. He recommended it. I saw it in the theaters.
Mhm.
So glad I saw it in the theaters.
Excellent.
Absolute blast. Might have been the best movie of the year. So when I saw Critical Drinker recommends Nosferatu, I was like, okay, well that's just the right amount of push that I needed
Right.
because I'm a Dracula fan anyways.
Well, you
So
you are the writer and also the leader of Paul Bunyan versus Dracula. So, well, there you are.
right, right.
Yeah, and
So
I'm
it
with
was
you
it
there
was
too because I wrote a novel, Gently Storm, against the House of Dracula, and I actually also appeared at a Dracula International Conference. So I'm there with you too.
right. So it was natural fit for me at the movies.
Right.
And I would say he recommended, hey, go see this in theaters while it's out.
Right.
And I would agree with that. I don't think I could give it as high a marks as his other recommendations, though. There were a lot of good things about it. The cinematography was amazing.
Oh yeah, I've seen
The
that even in the trailer.
the music was amazing.
Hmm.
The performances and kind of like Godzilla minus one,
Hmm.
they achieved something that I might have thought impossible,
Oh.
and that is to take today's audience and make a vampire type character like Dracula, a Dracula type character, Count Orlok, obviously,
Yes.
make it frightening and
Ah,
suspenseful and terrifying for
powerful.
today's audience.
Right.
It's not something that happens very much because
Hmm.
there's a million different types of vampire movies now.
Right.
And the same thing with, again, with Godzilla minus one.
Yes.
Is watching that, you actually feel fear of Godzilla and
Right.
you're worried about the characters in the show.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's the first threshold you have to pass for
Hmm.
having a great movie
Sure.
is, having the viewers transported into your setting
Right.
and feeling like those characters are real. And with Nosferatu, you have real concern for
Hmm.
the characters in the movie. You're worried about their safety
Right.
and about their families and
Sure.
their town. And,
Hmm.
that's a really great trick to pull off.
It sounds like there's something on the other side of this, though, something that didn't quite land for you.
Well, I don't want to give too much away
Okay.
because it's still kind of newish,
Okay.
but I did feel like the second half didn't have as much tension.
Okay.
It's kind of like they're tightening the screws, and then they're just kind of loose. And
Right.
then things just kind of move along.
Well, as screenwriters, you and I know this, that you got to really plot it out. You've really got to graph it out that it gets worse and worse and worse and worse and rising tension. And that's what we do with the screenplay when you and I are writing.
Right. Well, and I think it's kind of like a concerto.
Hmm.
You have to build towards the climax
Yes.
and feel like the ending was kind of surprising and disappointing at the same time.
Uh,
That's the hardest part, really,
Yeah,
of doing a movie is
sure.
getting that ending exactly right.
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think a famous one is Steven Spielberg's E.T.
Hmm.
They did a bunch of reshoots for that
uh,
because in the original ending, the alien dies
Ugh.
at the hands of the government people
Hmm.
that are performing autopsy on him.
Oh my gosh.
And audiences did not like that at all. So,
Right. But that also points out the importance of test screenings and I would like to point out too, because right now we're in a situation where people are starting to freak out about the new Superman movie, saying that, oh no, it needs reshoots. It tests screen badly, but the process of filmmaking, and I'm in this right now. I've got a short film, and I've been testing it, and adding dialogue and changing dialogue and doing all kinds of things, testing, and this is the thing that that's part of the popular filmmaking process.
Right. I think the number one mistake that most movies make nowadays
Hmm.
is they don't start with a great script.
Right.
You're 90% of the way home
Right.
if you have a terrific screenplay.
Yes.
But a great screenplay is not a great movie.
Right.
And there might be things that need to be changed or tweaked around the edges. That's only natural.
Yes. And I'd like to
Um,
add three things here. I've been talking with a number of people who have seen the film, and I've gotten an impression about it and talked with you too. And here are three things that I like to add. And I taught this to graduate students and to college students in screenwriting and digital filmmaking, all that kind of stuff. I taught this about number one, we've got to care about the main character. So, do you feel that we care about the main character, Nosferatu?
yeah, that was
Oh,
accomplished, yes.
okay, excellent. Number two, the main character has to have agency, meaning that the main character has to make decisions and change conditions. One concept that you shared with me from another screenwriter was the idea is that at the beginning of a film, the main character is ignorant of the theme. And then at the end of the film, the main character embodies the theme. A prime example is at the beginning of Finding Nemo, the father's all busted up about losing his wife, losing his children. And at the end, though, he's changed. He's gone on an adventure. And in fact, instead of saying something like, be careful, he says, go out and have an adventure to his son Nemo. So he embodies the theme. Now, I know you don't want to be spoilerish. Do you feel potentially that the main character embodied the theme?
More or less.
Okay, we'll leave
Yeah,
it at
yeah,
that.
more or less.
Okay, we'll leave it at
Yeah,
that. But do you feel that the main character actually was able to make decisions and affect things?
yes, definitely.
Excellent. So that's number two. The main character has to have agency. And the third thing I want to share is something that you've already hinted at, that if I'm writing something with you, we have to make the ending satisfying. Now, satisfying doesn't mean whoopee, yay, happy ending, but it has to be an inevitable ending. It has to be, for the type of film it is, it has to absolutely deliver on the premise. It has to deliver on the promise. It has to deliver what the audience came to see the movie for. If you don't deliver, particularly in the ending, you failed.
Well, I think by that standard, I would say the ending works,
Okay.
and perhaps I'm being a little bit nitpicky.
Okay.
May but that's
That's what we do as writers. We pick nits.
I haven't seen the 1922 movie in
Okay.
a long, long time, in
Okay.
over a decade at least.
Okay.
And so I don't remember it that well.
Okay.
And I'm not sure. It's kind of a delicate dance
Hmm.
because you want to pay homage to the original,
Right.
but you also kind of want to write your own story. And so I'm not sure how much they felt at liberty to change and shake things up
Hmm.
and how much they wanted to, stay true to the original.
Understood.
But it's interesting because the original Nosferatu
Hmm.
was kind of a twisted version of Dracula,
Right.
and it was done in violation of copyright law. And they actually got sued by
Hmm.
Bram Stoker's estate,
Hmm.
and they were ordered to destroy all copies of the 1922 film.
Well,
Obviously, a few survived,
right.
and the world is better off because of it.
Right. And from my
And
conversations with a number of people, people are getting value from this film. And it sounds like you did too.
yeah, absolutely. When I rate movies, I tend to think of it like a teacher. And,
Well,
and
you
so
you
it's
do
like,
teach art.
it's an A movie. It's not an A plus,
Okay.
you know. So
Good.
I'll
Hey,
take it, you
I'll
know.
take it too. Excellent. And we're so excited to talk about Nosferatu, but we're also wonderfully excited to talk about the launch of Paul Bunyan versus Dracula. Share what's going on, John.
Well, we're launching the comic book this month. It's
Hmm.
going to go through Indiegogo,
Yes.
and you can learn more about that at coltoncomics.com.
Yes.
Also, we'll put the link below, but if you sign up through Indiegogo, you will be automatically qualified to get a free trading card when you place an order for the comic book.
Wow.
This is our first comic book coming out this year, and
Yes.
it's a number one, and
Hmm.
it's 52
Collectors.
pages. Yeah, 52 pages. It's a big comic,
Hmm.
and it's 100% completed. It's ready to go to printers.
Yes.
So, it's not going to be something that you order on Indiegogo and then you're wondering where it is a year from now. As soon as the campaign is done,
Yes.
we're going to start fulfilling shipments.
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
just really excited about it. You can check out the preview, see if you like the art, see
Hmm.
if the story piques your interest. We had a lot of fun making it, and we're really excited to share it with the world.
And I just want to throw in here that I'm excited about it because I've seen it blossom and grow from an idea. And I mean, it's got it all. It's got the beauty, it's got the Dracula in a powerful form, and it's got Paul Bunyan. I mean, this is something extraordinary. I'm really hoping that people take the opportunity to go for it and support you, John, in this glorious opportunity and this wonderful artistic endeavor, Paul Bunyan versus Dracula.
Yeah, I think that was one thing I did like about the Count Orlok was that he was really portrayed as a force of nature
Yes.
and as three-dimensional a villain as possible,
Hmm.
but more of a force of nature. He was basically like the shark from Jaws.
Right.
And in my story,
Hmm.
Dracula is probably more three-dimensional than that,
Hmm.
but also a force of nature.
Got it.
And so it was
Absolutely.
nice for me to see that kind of thing working in another vehicle. That was kind of validating.
Terrific. And we'd like to invite you to like, subscribe, and comment below for anyone who loves vampire entertainment, Nosferatu, and also Paul Bunyan versus Dracula. Thanks for being with us. We'll catch you next time.
Yeah, thanks a lot. See you later.